This is
Film Threat!
Welcome, everyone. Happy day after Comic-Con. You may or may not be hungover, but you're definitely tired if you were at the con. Also, opening weekend for the Fantastic Four First Steps. How did it do at the box office compared to Superman? The results will surprise you. And we'll tell you and get into it immediately. Plus, our all-star panel. So let's get started. Let's get going. It's a Monday. So let's do it. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah, we hate everything.
Welcome, everyone. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Steph.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. Oh,
hello, everybody.
there. Okay. Yeah. First of all, Rob, I'm surprised you and I could talk.
Yeah, it was a long weekend, but I kept running into you.
Yes, I know. It was
That was fun.
That
I have to say,
Marriott
overall, I wish I could have made it to the Saturday night meetup, but my overall impression was this was a quite fun, very enjoyable SDCC.
Yeah, not as many of those big corporate parties. It was more gatherings.
Yep.
And one thing I heard, the Tivoli bar that I always recommend, it's a dive bar in old gas lamp, San Diego. The cheapest drinks in the city are there. Rather than $12 for a White Claw, they were $7. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Along with PBRs. And Kevin Feige was at the Tivoli, and years ago I saw the cast of Ant-Man there. So that's a known cool bar. You can go and disappear. So
I ended up having we did a panel with Ron Moore, creator of For All Mankind and Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek, and then he came and had dinner with us, and I just geeked out with him for 2 hours.
I hung out with one of the producers of Dexter, the new Dexter Resurrection series, that ended up going to the panel, and it looks great. It's a new concept. I didn't like the way Dexter ended, but seeing what they're doing with it, they released a trailer. We saw some scenes, and it looks really good. So. Yeah. Let's see who's here. We got some quick soups. Let's go. Hey, Badger.
Hey. Honda for 3 months. Shout out. Just being a member.
Thanks.
Andrew Cram gifting 1 Film Threat membership. Shout out, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Major Chai Chai for 5. Pleasure meeting you, Chris, at Comic-Con. I hope I get to meet you again at future SDCCs.
I hope there will be future SDCCs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, the contract runs out in 2027. It may end up going to Vegas. I doubt it. It would kill the convention.
Yeah.
The personality of the city is too built around it. But let's do intros since I forgot to do that. Let's go. I'm introing you. You got to intro yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Hi, I'm
okay.
Apparently stone-faced Robert Meyer Burnett coming at you from the Burnett work on YouTube. And I'm just tired from San Diego.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Hi, I'm Elaine at Nerd Cookies. I didn't get to go to San Diego, but I saw Fantastic Four. And if it taught us one thing is that if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Exactly. That's great.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, just stepped in. Just got here, and I'm throwing on this camera. I did go to San Diego Comic-Con. It was a blast. Had a great time. And yeah, Fantastic Four. Looking forward to talking about it.
Steph from my nerdy home. I wasn't able to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but George Lucas was there for the first time, so that's cool. I did see Fantastic Four, and I liked it.
Nice.
What's up, y'all? Dante from Verbal Riot, ready to defend the Fantastic Four for the 5th time this week.
I'm tired, boss. Yeah, I saw Fantastic Four twice. See many a meltdown. I hope I don't see another one today, but yeah, I'm ready to talk about it again.
Yeah, Alan film through it. Raise your hand if you were in the same room as George Lucas yesterday.
Boo.
Penis dick. That's right.
Why would you
And
say
then they
that,
kicked me
man?
out.
All right, let's get to the box office, and then we have trailers and Comic-Con news, but let's do box office first. Alan, where I'll put up, if you would put that up. and give
Yeah,
us
if I can
numbers.
figure out what button it is.
Yes, while you're doing that, it's odd to me how close these movies performed. When it turns, Fantastic Four is doing better globally, but it's almost the same global box office first weekend. 218 for Fantastic Four as opposed to 220 for Superman. Only $1 million or $2 million off.
Yeah, and let's not forget Superman had early screenings that were counted in those opening box
True.
office
True.
weekends. So,
But it's still people that paid to go see it.
yeah.
Yes, and we're going to talk about FF and what we thought about it, but I think the consensus is divided on both movies. People who loved it, people who didn't like it, but I don't think either movie is a disaster. But they're not performing. Are normies out on superhero movies? What do we think?
Oh, absolutely. I think normies are done. I think also Fantastic Four coming in at the end of July probably hurt it a little bit because it's been a loaded summer. A lot of movies are out. People are getting ready for back to school. It's like, okay, it's time to start, ramping up for, kids going back to school. And yeah, it's like, okay, we've already seen Jurassic World. We saw Superman. We saw F1. That's enough movies for us for the summer. I think a lot of people just, saw maybe 2 or 3, 4, maybe tops, and then that's it. So coming at the end of the summer probably hurt Fantastic Four a little bit.
I don't know.
Jurassic
Friday
comes
comes out.
$700 million.
Yeah,
guys
this is the interesting thing. Okay, so Jurassic World, we're at $720 million. And also note that it came out a week before Superman. Superman is at $500 million. In 1 week, that's a $200 million gap, which tells you I don't think Superman's going to get to $700 million.
No, I'm going to lose my
Wow.
bet.
No, it's got a month. We'll give it 45 days.
How much does it need to break even?
We're what is it, 16 days in?
Right, but Jurassic World, especially with the international audience, is way outperforming Superman, and it's only a week difference.
But
I think Jurassic's probably going to pass up, or Superman's going to pass up Jurassic World, I think, domestically.
And Jurassic has always been a performer.
Overseas, yeah.
The Jurassic World, if you look at it's the 4th Jurassic World movie, and look at all of their box office.
Yeah.
Very, very strong.
Even with the bad movies, they're all over $1 billion.
Yeah, they're all bad too.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, people know what they're going to see when they go see a Jurassic Park movie, right? They don't really care about the stories. They just go and see the dinosaurs. But with superhero movies, it's always hit or miss, especially Marvel. Like it's hit or miss when you go see a Marvel movie. So a lot of people could just be waiting to see whether or not this movie is good and they should waste their time on it. Same with Superman. That's why the movies superhero movies aren't really performing that well overseas in general, just because like they don't know. Audiences are just kind of tired of it. They're like, well, they're either good or they're bad. And so I think like for the most part, people are probably waiting for word of mouth to see if they should go and spend their money on it. Whereas Jurassic World, the story might suck, but you're going to be entertained because it's dinosaurs. How can they miss with that?
Plus, also they're fighting the fact that DC had a string of, let's call them, losers, and so is Marvel, and they're both sort of building their brands back up. And I think between Thunderbolts and as more people discover it streaming and Fantastic Four, they're building up to something, and they've got Spider-Man next and Avengers Doomsday. So maybe we got Supergirl next year. We got Lanterns coming out. You got Peacemaker season 2. So they're sort of in a building trajectory right now.
Those Hamada movies did more damage than almost anything. Those last couple movies they tried to make work. Shazam 2.
And I think Batman Begins was pretty low on its box office compared to today, but Dark Knight was over $1 billion, so it had a massive jump in its growth. So I think, yeah, what you were saying, Rob, that if you're building towards something, and if you have a decent foundation to build off of, then maybe the future will be brighter.
And another thing,
I think you guys are being way too generous, man. I think that the trust is gone, dude. I think that the audience has lost its trust in both companies, to be honest with you, but especially the MCU.
Yeah.
I look, if these movies would have came out 4 years ago, they'd be like at $1 billion by now.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, the first movies in any Marvel, if you look at the first Captain America, go back and see what all the way Doctor Strange.
Right, but Rob, you gotta remember that's back when like the MCU wasn't the MCU. We were just getting a few movies here and there, but they weren't quote unquote the MCU yet.
No, but Doctor Strange came out later in the MCU, and that was a 600 and change movie.
Sure, but that was after trust has been built. Like the trust was built by the time we got Doctor Strange.
Sure. But what I mean is the first movie in any franchise. I mean, Guardians did well at 750 million. But I mean, the first movies were never $1 billion grossers.
Yeah, but less people are going to the movies now, and on top of that, we've been alienated by. So, like, yeah, I see his point, but
I just think the trust has been broken. I think that people there's been look, I get not every movie's going to be a winner, right? We all know that, but it has been just garbage after garbage after garbage after garbage. Times are tough. People are watching their wallets, and they don't trust these companies anymore.
Yeah, I mean, to Dante's point, both Fantastic Four and Superman, they needed to be home runs, and they weren't home runs. They were doubles. The original MCU, it didn't take off until that first Avengers movie. That's when it built the trust. That's when it said, this is a product you need to see. And they were able to build that momentum all the way through Endgame.
Right. And also,
you're just not seeing it here.
Yeah, and during that time, when Guardians was coming out, Doctor Strange was coming out, that was all leading to Thanos. All of that was leading to something. Right now, currently within the MCU, like I don't know what the overarching storyline is with the current, like with Phase 4 and Phase 5. What is that leading to? They've had to switch it over and over and over again. And so now it's just kind of like, okay, well, what is it leading to? We know that it's going to Doomsday, but what has led to Doomsday? It's like the Fantastic Four. Okay, well, you have to go and watch Fantastic Four. Well, and up until now, people have sort of like lost their investment in Marvel.
Yeah, based on what I got from that Feige interview, it feels like Endgame, or sorry, Doomsday or whatever, that they're basically ending everything and then starting over with X-Men.
After Secret Wars, they said
it'll be a
creative reset in the sense of like
so
a singular
you're not
timeline.
ending on an up note, you're ending on a down note at this point.
They should have ended it before. After
there's been 37 movies that have grossed $32 billion collectively.
Yeah, but like
which
8
is the
of them
greatest
probably
record. It's the greatest record in Hollywood history by a wide margin.
Yeah.
And the Marvel.
But I think honestly, like the success of the MCU prior is kind of hurting the MCU now because people had high expectations every single time they come out for a Marvel movie. And a lot of these joints have not lived up to expectations whatsoever. And so now it's like, well, I've already seen the best of the MCU. I've already saw the Infinity Saga all the way going from Iron Man to Endgame. Like, I've seen the best of it. What are you giving me now? You're not giving me anything interesting. This is a lesser version of what we got back then. So I can wait for Disney Plus. That's what a lot of people are basically saying. I can wait for Disney. Some people aren't even waiting for Disney Plus. They've just checked out. It's like, I'm done. I don't need to.
Look who the Avengers are now, right? The Thunderbolts. Those are the Avengers now.
The new Avengers, lawsuit pending.
I mean, they've been building.
You've gone from Iron Man, Cap.
Right,
Black Widow, Hulk, Thor to Falcon, which is Captain America, Falcon. Who else? Natasha. Yeah, Simu. All right, got Yelena. Yeah, it's like I don't care. I do
think that most people that saw this movie though weren't seeing it because they felt it was homework for Avengers. They just liked the Fantastic Four and thought it looked like a good movie, standalone movie, and I think that's what they need to have established now moving forward. Like, go back to basics and have your core standalone films and then try to build to something. And that's what I hope that they're trying to eventually get to. And that's why I personally went to go see these movies, both Superman and this one, that at least can stand on their own, even if they are trying to build to something again, a rebuild.
but the problem is that they've already set expectations, right? Like they set the expectations, not us. The audience didn't set these expectations. So we're going into Doomsday without a script, by the way. Like
Well, the first part
without a script.
Just not that ending.
Romaine.
Not a completed script.
None of this feels genuine. None of this feels like it was planned out. Like it just feels like they are shooting from the hip, and like they're throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. Who is going to win, Superman or FF? Fantastic Four, which one? Now, in the reviews, Fantastic Four is better reviewed. Rotten Tomato score is 87%, Superman 83%, audience score, Fantastic Four 93%, audience score for Superman 91%, and the opening weekend box office for both almost the same by only less than $2 million. Who is gonna, because bragging rights
Superman will
is a
probably
thing in Hollywood. It's often as Alan says, a dick measuring contest.
That's what I say.
He says it. Well, yes, he says it often. It's
Here's a great title for a movie: Penis Dick.
coming soon to Disney Plus. But Alan, who is going to be the winner? Who's going to have the bragging rights of who wins?
Yeah, it'll be Fantastic Four, and solely because of international sales.
Oh,
really?
You think so? Okay.
In the long run,
what is
the
everyone
international.
else think?
I think international likes Fantastic Four more than Superman.
But remember, I mean, the DCEU has Lantern shot, Peacemaker 2's shot, Supergirl shot. You've got, so they actually have spent, it's not one movie, they've laid out quite a bit of money.
Well, yeah.
And
also
and that's already been spent. So they're hoping, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see. Like, I really do like the Tom King Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow story. That's going to be really interesting because it's very different from Superman. It'll be really interesting to see their take on Lanterns. And then we're going to see the Justice Gang and Peacemaker. So it's going to be an interesting, they haven't just had one movie, they've built things already. So is this foundation entirely going to be strong enough to hold up a new universe?
Well, I think the DCU has a stronger foundation right now for sure. I think if I were going to trust anybody right now, I would trust Gunn over anybody at the MCU right now. So I would trust his universe. I think overall Superman might do better, but I personally like the Fantastic Four better. I thought it was a better film.
To be honest, I haven't seen it. I'm seeing it today at 4.
It seems to be what you wanted, because I've heard several people's very passionate takes on it. If you just wanted a day in the life, you probably like Superman more. If you wanted a maybe slightly more focused like narrative, a little more personal, then you probably liked Fantastic Four. And certainly one where the humor doesn't undercut the seriousness of the situation, which I found was a constant problem for me personally with Superman. I didn't have that issue with Fantastic Four. There were jokes, but they were contextual and they worked. And then the serious moments were deadly serious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the thing is you got to walk into Superman knowing you're seeing a James Gunn movie. And then it kind of prepares you for what it is you're about to get. Fantastic Four, you could just walk in it like any other Marvel movie that's out there. I got them about the same. I think they're about the same movie. Slight edge to Fantastic Four. I think it's a little bit better than Superman, but honestly, it's not a big gap between the two. It's not like one is really great and then one is just kind of okay. It's like they're both kind of okay. You know, with a little bit of an edge to Fantastic Four.
I agree with you. I
thought Pedro was going to ruin it. He didn't. So.
Well, let's talk about the Fantastic Four first steps. Here's a lot of clips have been released, and let's just take a look at this clip here. Many of you may not have seen. Let's just check this out. Look at this. Fantastic Four.
Johnny and Susan go to outer space with them. Well, I don't know, dear. You'll have to ask them. What is wrong with you guys? It's like you've seen a ghost.
Relax, Susan.
Oh, Jesus.
Just to hold on to the rights, right? It's really good.
Ben, we're all gonna go get some help. Take your own blood.
It's with the Days of Our Lives music.
I know. This is This is
Oh my
from the
gosh.
found footage fest. These clips.
By the way, they're all in the new Fantastic Four film, and they're on the red
in
carpet.
like cameos.
Yeah, Rob, you're gonna love all the Easter eggs
you
and
go.
montages. And
All right, as we play this in the background, what do you guys think of the movie? Those who saw it.
I enjoyed it. I thought honestly, I thought I hated I didn't think I'd hate it. I just thought Pedro would take me out of it a lot. Surprisingly, he didn't, man. I still don't think he was the best Reed Richards, but he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bad Reed Richards, so I was like, okay. I love all the stuff they did in the beginning with the montages with Mole Man and all that. I was like, okay, this feels like some Jack Kirby stuff here, man. And especially just when they first meet Galactus and we see that image of him, like that was straight out of Kirby. Like I loved all that geeky comic book stuff that they threw in there. The movie definitely had problems. It has some major problems, but I think the way that they did everything surprised me because I was expecting to hate two characters and I didn't. I thought Silver Surfer wasn't bad, and I thought Pedro was fine. So overall, and like Badger said, it was just a more focused movie, right? It was more structured. It was more when jokes were there, they were meant to be there for that specific reason, and they didn't carry over throughout the whole film. Like there weren't just a bunch of quips through the whole film. Yeah, it wasn't juvenile. It took itself serious, which I appreciated.
I remember that scene from the movie.
And yeah, no, I think overall it was just a more enjoyable film to sit through, and honestly, it was a film where I didn't need it to lead into anything else.
Right.
Like the movie stood on its own. I didn't need it to lead into Doomsday. But what pisses me off is the end credits because, well, I'll get into that later.
Yeah. Other thoughts? I think Alan and I talked about it. I mean, it surprised me. I liked it better. I think mainly because the Marvel humor has infected everything, and it means nothing matters. What I liked about this movie the most is the stakes mattered. They were, they joked between each other, but they didn't joke about the fact that the world will end. The world could be destroyed from Galactus. I thought the action sequence going to Galactus's ship was that was great.
Looked good.
I mean, it was a look, but is it did I like what you said, Alan? Don't want to like go and see it again. It was the best thing ever. No, but I felt that I liked it more than Superman for the reason that the humor was pulled back.
I went to see it a second time just to make sure of that thing. Am I just liking this because I like it for what it is? Yeah, it's not just because we've had slop. I do. There's even Pedro has some good moments. The couple of him with Franklin. I don't want to spoil the moments, but yeah, where I was like, wow, okay, I really wanted to hate it. Their world building was great. I truly believe that, like, again, he would not be my choice for Reed still. I would rather have other people. But I believe he is a Reed out there. I believe Earth 828, that this is the Fantastic Four and that they really love that world.
Yeah.
And the people in it really made me believe that. And boy, that's sort of what I wanted for Superman, is I would have loved an opening montage before we show him beaten and broken by the hammer of Barabia. I would have loved an opening montage of him saving people and fighting villains that we all knew the names of. Thank you, Superman. And then done what we did. And so I just resonated much more with Fantastic Four, and I oddly enough ended that movie feeling hopeful, whereas I just felt frustrated and like at the end of Superman, because I watched him get beat up for a lot of it. And even if there were reasons for it, I understand it's not what I wanted, and I somehow got it from a Fantastic Four film with Pedro.
Yeah, I agree, and I actually enjoyed Superman, but I liked Fantastic Four much more. I liked the structure and the pacing. It was way more attuned to just the movie-going audience, general audience, as opposed to Superman, which I felt was very much trying to do like a comic book, like you said, Chris, like flipping through the pages of a comic book. There were too many conveniences to just move the plot along, and it was very chaotic. There were things that I liked and elements that I really enjoyed, and casting was great. But yeah, those definitely were significant issues that I had. But Fantastic Four overall, I loved it. I loved the casting, the characters. I loved the pacing. I loved how they introduced us to the world. I loved that they took its time for those emotional moments to get to know the characters, for them to see the different characters interacting with each other. was much better paced, beautiful visuals, and just really wholesome and pure. That was like in a way that I wasn't expecting, but I was very happy to see. And yeah, just left the theater feeling good vibes, which is
Cookies,
good.
could I ask you, I have a question for you personally, not a personal question, but Fantastic Four also is, from what I haven't seen it, but it has a great science fiction conceit at its center. Like there's philosophical questions that are being asked that sort of elevate it beyond the typical quote unquote superhero movie in terms of Galactus's motivation, why he's doing what he's doing, what Galactus represents on a galactic scale. Do you think that if you're a science fiction fan, that there's more to like in Fantastic Four for that reason?
Oh yeah, I did. I liked those epic, but also like hard sciencey elements of creating the fix of how they're going to get out of this situation, which, you know, Reed Richards embodied quite well, I thought. So that was surprise. I think he did great as Reed Richards. I mean, they all did great and they all had great chemistry. But yeah, I liked how they worked as a team in their different fields, and it felt very science fiction-y as far as going on the mission and figuring stuff out. It really touched that, resonated with me in that way, specifically as a science fiction fan. So I enjoyed that, and just gorgeous visuals to accompany that was so great.
All Johnny wants to do is go back to space, by the way. It's his like primary motivation. It's really clear. So this is a whole sci-fi thing. They're the Fantastic Four, the first people to build a spaceship and go. So it's like they really showed that they are the focal point. Oddly enough, the Fantastic Four, kind of what Lex Luthor was warning against, in the sense that like this world has completely given up. Even the future Foundation member nations have given up their armies. So Fantastic Four is literally the shining light in the sky for everyone. And so when they're asked to do something, it's all about sacrifice, bro. I think you really like it. What
they kind of go against?
sacrifice?
Yeah, they do the opposite of Star Trek 2, where it's the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few. You know, there is
What
that
kind of
balance
people?
there, and the other side gets argued in this one.
Yeah, it's good.
I similar to Nerd Cookies, I did think that the Superman movie was a bit more chaotic, and for my brain had a hard time keeping up with everything that was going on with Superman. But with this one, I loved the pacing of it. I loved the setting. I loved the story. There were some things that I didn't like. You guys liked Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I personally didn't. There were scenes that happened within the movie that I really liked for his character, and how the fight with Sue that he sort of had in regards to like the things that he has to think up. That was a great moment. That was a great scene. And the acting in that was really good, as well as like the scene at the very end. I loved his acting in that. I felt like he finally gave me something as Reed. But other than that, I didn't really like his acting as Reed Richards, or how they like displayed his powers as well. I thought that
was weak.
Very weak.
Yes.
But everything else, though, their family dynamic, I absolutely loved that. I love that they had like jokes within their family dynamic, but when something serious happened, it was taken very seriously, and they all had like their game faces on. They knew that, you know, they had to take action, and now. So serious moments were taken very seriously. It wasn't undercut with comedy or jokes or anything like that. And I actually walked out of this movie ready for Doomsday. Like I was actually like, okay, hopefully it'll continue on with this, and I looked forward to the next Marvel thing, which is something that hasn't happened in a while for me. I haven't been looking forward to the next Marvel thing, and this movie I actually walked out looking forward to the next Marvel thing, which is really cool.
Shia LaBeouf, last thing, I was ready to be all upset at that. I thought it was absolutely integral that it was the Shia LaBeouf female version, because it's a whole thing with her and Johnny, as opposed to the last time we saw it where it was Sue and Norrin, and you can always see the main MCU version of Silver. For this one, I thought it was actually important. It was Shala, and it worked.
Yes, I like Shala.
I really like the connection with her and Johnny. I thought that was really good.
And she looked a little bit better in shots than in that initial trailer. Maybe I'm just
she looked better.
Maybe my imagination,
CGI
but she looked
was
really good.
Polished. Yeah.
It was very interesting in her story comparing to Sue. You know, Sue comes out and says like, I'm not going to risk, like, I'm not going to give up my child for this world, but I'm also not going to give up this world for my child. So I'm going to continue to fight. Whereas like the decision that Shia LaBeouf makes, you know, where like I will sacrifice all of these other worlds in order to save my world. It kind of mirrors it. And that's why I feel like her kicking Johnny aside and finally, or, you know, the what she does at the very end. It kind of makes sense to me, where like those stories are kind of mirroring each other, even though they never really have any interaction. It was kind of cool.
No, I like that. I like that it was well thought out, which I don't have any hope for Doomsday. That's like one thing. I like that I can enjoy this.
Yeah.
But I can enjoy this on its own, which is the most important thing. And I am happy I will purchase this and have it at home because it was really good. And I liked the pro-family themes. Again, those very wholesome interactions that refreshing.
Too.
Well, just refreshing in the world of sci-fi and in the world of comic book movies. If you like The Incredibles too, like this is. I love that aesthetic. I love the gear porn. I guess that the details were so on point in that.
You know what? Herbie wasn't annoying, which I loved.
I liked Herbie. It was like the family dog.
It worked well.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about before we get to soups related to this. What did we think of the chemistry between Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal? Because on the press tour, when you see the two of them together, I have
dry humping. You mean? Yes.
Well, let's see this chemistry. I will say, this is the most heterosexual movie Marvel has ever made. Let's just say it out loud. What we're all thinking.
Facts.
Let's take a look at this.
Facts.
My yummy old man.
Nah, bro.
It's kind of like, what would be the literal translation? Yummy old man.
Can we stand 6 minutes of this? Let's see.
No.
Let's see how far we can go. I'm going to play it until you tell me to stop. Let's go.
It's my yummy old man.
I'm done.
Back on track, babe.
Back on track, baby.
Cheers to that, babe.
Cheers to that, though.
What's a sexy accent to you?
Italian.
Italian.
Spanish.
Spanish. Arbitrary Latino.
Yes. That's included in.
My forte.
Pedro. Yeah.
From Game of Thrones, maybe.
That. And like someone that can talk to you in that language.
What does the chat say?
Pineapple.
What does the chat say?
Make it stop, please. Totally inappropriate.
Do they come off as
Please
like
stop, uncle?
He's the gay best friend. He is the gay best friend of Vanessa Kirby.
Okay, but here's the problem. Here's
himself.
the problem with that, though. Do we know? Look, we don't know for sure that he is gay or not. Like we all suspect it, but we don't know for sure, right? Now, what he's doing is whatever. I'm pissed off at what she's doing because that woman is married, is pregnant with another man's child, has a fiance at home, right?
Yeah.
And she's out there like fondling this man all over the media. Nah, man, return her to the streets.
We're only 43 seconds in. We're only 43 seconds in. The video is 7 minutes. Let's see.
Thinking you're verraco means you think you're hot shit. Let me demonstrate.
Terrorism.
This guy's an absolute smoke show. So there's a lot of smoke wafting around.
Look at the two of us and decide who's smoking.
Oh, to find love like Reed and Sue's.
Now listen, these are gorgeous. I think that's my favorite image so far.
It's also laggy, so it's double torture.
Yeah, boy.
I've been busy.
I know, baby.
Answering questions about you.
You can't believe me alone that long. That's a little too long, baby.
We need it.
Come on. I'm not letting you go.
You don't have to, though. Never have to, baby. You doubt. Don't doubt. It's thrill. It's because he throws out these obscure movie quirks to me in the middle of nowhere.
What does the chat say? We need a wellness check on the chat.
They said stop.
They said stop like 20 minutes ago.
It died a long time ago.
I do wonder if these sort of it's a marketing stunt. I would describe it as, and I feel like it's becoming more and more common where the marketing or the promos are an extension of the film. And I think Superman and Lois, the actors for them were kind of doing similar things, maybe not to this extent or this much.
They weren't groping each other.
Well, there was also another movie with Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac, The Marriage or something like that. And they were like doing some pretty crazy on the red carpet stuff like that. And I think they're both.
Look, we just shamed the CEO from that Coldplay concert, right? For doing some shit like this, and we're gonna just like make a
no. I'm just wondering if it's like supposed to be within their roles is an extension of that to promote.
They probably
I'm
told them to
genuinely
do it.
asking if that's because I've seen this more and more elsewhere.
Yeah, they probably did, but they're not in their roles. That's what makes it so creepy. Is like they're not in their roles. This is
the actual fatigue.
Yeah, but I've seen so many with like David Cornsweet and her making googly eyes at each other on like so many.
See, that's
like,
right there.
really
It's the looks.
faces.
Yeah, the looks. After that, man, look, if I'm her husband, man, I'm not feeling that shit at
and
all.
he was married.
No,
too,
you're not
David
touching my
Cornsweet.
wife like that, bro. Get your hands off of her stomach.
Right.
You can do your little high fives. You can do all of this other stuff. Don't be stroking his face. Like, what in the hell are we doing here? What's going on? Why are we allowing this?
And the other part is Pedro is known for doing this with other actresses, right? Like here, look, man. When Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga were promoting A Star Is Born, they hammed it up a little bit, right? Just to make you think, oh, maybe they are in love, right? But there was a line that they didn't cross. I feel like there's some lines being crossed here, right? And he's done this with other actresses, you know, in the name of anxiety, but this is taking it a little too far, man. And if I'm her guy at home, and all my friends are watching this happen on the media, watching a woman do this with another guy all over the media,
but
actress or not,
worked.
They would be up in your
We're
ass.
talking about
Dante,
it.
what
It
you
worked.
what you see? You see what I'm seeing, bro? What every last one of your friends would be climbing up in your grill saying, "Hey, what you doing about that? You really letting that go down?"
But Rob,
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 you ain't touching my woman like that, man. I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's working because
It's not
we're
going
talking
down.
about it right now.
Right,
Unfortunately, it's working.
That doesn't equal
Bro,
profit
I'm
for the
sorry.
movie.
I don't care what the media is saying. I don't care what the fans are talking about. You are not touching my woman like that. I don't care if it makes $1 billion in the box office. You are not about to touch my lady like that. It's not happening.
Yeah,
and Vanessa Kirby to
weird,
allow
man.
that to happen? Bro, get out of here.
Look, it was probably pre-negotiated before they did this. I mean, remember, we live in a world where everything we see in the media is planned, designed, everything is synthetic. Don't believe anything you see. Look at the New York Times. They published a picture, they declared something, the paper of record, and it turned out not to be true. The
Rob,
cover
and
of the New York
I
Times
understand what you're
yesterday.
saying, man. And I'm not taking this. What I'm saying is the optics of it is bad, right? Like it's the optics. Well, whether it's real or not, it's whatever, right? Now, here's the thing: if her husband is into some cuck stuff and he's okay with it, okay, then hey, it's all fair. It's all fun. It's all fun and games, right? I'm just saying the optics of it are bad, dude. Like I don't know. That's just me.
I would say if her husband's standing by and watching this, then he's a cuck.
But I guess that's why I ain't in Hollywood, bro.
Well, I mean, it's all over the media.
I guess that's why I ain't in Hollywood, because it's Hollywood, baby, and I'm not doing this shit. Hell no. Hell to the no.
I feel like even with these like sit down interviews with the red carpets, there needs to be some sort of professionalism around there, like with these actors. Because I like watching like behind the scenes and interviews and all that stuff. And while you can feel like the cast camaraderie, like they just spent a lot of time together filming and everything, and you can see that they had a lot of fun. They're making like inside jokes with each other, but it's never like to this level where you might suspect that is Pedro having an affair with this pregnant married woman.
Right.
Like that's where I'm looking at. That's how I'm looking at it. And I think like a lot of people, even with like Superman and Lois, when they were filming all of those things and getting asked questions and having the actors go nose to nose and face to face, like you could kind of tell that that was something that they were asked to do. But you can see that sort of cast camaraderie. And you can totally tell that those things were done for specific reasons, like for TikTok videos or whatever. But with this, it's the fact that like they're just all over each other when they don't have to be. Like Vanessa Kirby doesn't have to have her arm around her and stroking his face while they're having this interview. Like you can still have some professionalism and show that sort of cast camaraderie without going overboard. And I feel like this just went way overboard and sort of crossed that line. And it could be because she's pregnant and married, like because she's pregnant and people are like really like looking at it and laser focused on it because she's married and pregnant with another man's child. And that's why it's an even bigger deal now. Who knows? But it's sort of like that. They crossed a line of professionalism that made it weird.
Wait, in real life, she's pregnant with another man's child that isn't her husband?
People too.
No. She's paired with her man's husband.
Yeah.
I think they're engaged. I don't know if they're married, but they're engaged. I think
Until
So-
people
All I
come
know is
out and
that-
start saying he's doing it without consent, can we fucking stop talking about it and go
No,
back to
I never
minding
said
our
he didn't.
business?
No, I'm blaming her, dude.
Who
I'm not even talking about
cares?
him. I'm
Who-
saying she.
Who cares? Do you really
She
think he's
knows
hanging
better.
around with the bros?
It's Chris's fault for showing it to us.
I know,
He
he
asked
knows
the
it is.
question. That's the topic at hand.
No, but
All I know is
look,
I'm pretty sure that baby is confused.
I just think though that look, I mean, remember, everything we see is synthetic, and they're whether they're playful, whether they knew what they were doing. They
Well,
knew they
that-
were on camera. They knew it was going out. I mean, and the Disney publicists saw it all. And there is, I mean, we now live in a world where this kind of thing is unfortunately what people want. They want to see it. They want to experience it. And it's everywhere. Those clips did their job.
But
People are
they
talking.
really didn't, Rob, because it didn't add to their box office.
Well,
Like,
by the way, it did
over.
overperform from the initial box office projections.
I will agree to a certain point. Like the Superman clips that people were like getting weird at when they were put on X, like those strange clips, when they were put on TikTok, like people love it. They're thirst traps for women. That is marketing towards women, and it worked. Like there are tons and tons of TikToks coming out after the Superman movie where women, film themselves going to the theater watching Superman and only watching it for David Cornsweet. Like that is the only reason. So to that effect, they knew that they had the male audience built in, but they had to find a way to get women to the theater, and they made thirst traps. That's basically what they did.
Yep.
And it worked because
100%.
I did see a lot of girls going to see Superman for David Cornsweet.
Well, look at
But
the new.
This
Have you
is
guys
just
seen?
this part. Just it didn't come off like that though. Them touching each other came off as it's really creepy and inappropriate.
But that works in a different way. Have you guys seen the Sydney Sweeney American? I don't know. American jeans.
Pro-Nazi jeans
50 times already. I've seen it.
I mean, those are
By the way, I just dropped
the
a video on
reaction
it,
to
so you
those
guys,
jean ads is
after this, go watch it.
they're just they're hilarious, and people are talking about them like they're the downfall of Western civilization.
Dante wears American Eagle confirmed.
I will
American
say
Eagle
I don't think any woman involved with another man having a baby with another man is going to be that comfortable being so touchy-feely, flirty, unless that man is gay. Then it's okay.
Sure,
100%.
but we don't know for sure if he is. That's the problem.
Pedro's a purse puppy.
Look on the internet how many women and has Pedro Pascal been attached to.
And look, it could be.
But we don't know. We don't know anything. I don't know any
I
men
think
he's
there
been
was a whole
attached to.
article about that though, and it was just they were all his friends.
Yeah.
It could be as fake
There
as
were
I
zero-
asked Chris Gore if my AI could promote my new movie. He said, of course, so long as I help.
I say no. You can't do it. AI Pedro. We're not doing that. Let's move on to this. One last thing. We'll get the soups related to FF. Vanessa Kirby was on Josh Horowitz's show, which I've come to really enjoy.
Yeah, it's great.
I saw him do some panels at Comic-Con, and he really nailed it. He's smart. He knows his stuff. He has good rapport. This is Vanessa Kirby on Sue Storm's powers, how they make sense.
I have a very stupid but real question. I mean, so as the nature of being a superhero, you kind of have to do like the hand movements thing, right? You have to sell that. Is there a discussion of like, oh wait, we need to sell Sue's hand movements in a different way than Scarlet Witch? I need a different special hand movement than Lizzie.
Exactly, Josh. Oh my gosh, you're so perceptive. I had that conversation daily because what she does is incredible and it's so definitive. And I also wanted to understand the powers at a very fundamental level. Otherwise, I think I would feel a bit silly. You know what I mean? I knew I would feel silly kind of waving my hands around without really understanding what it feels like to do it. But then you go, well, how do I start to imagine what it feels like to do it? And so I had to understand it on a scientific level. So I was imagining that Sue creating force fields is essentially like moving frequency or energy, right? And if you think about radio waves or microwaves,
or our phone waves that connect a call to Australia from England. It's not what the connection is invisible, but it's still moving through space, if that makes sense. And we can't see them with our retinas, but it's there. And so I imagined, okay, Sue can just move things. She can move light in a way that we can't perceive in our human, five senses. She almost like had a seventh sense, is what I imagined. And so then we started talking about how in the comic she does use her hands a lot. So I can't not use my hands, because for a second I was like, maybe I just shouldn't, just so it's not too similar to anybody. Because even Doctor Strange, uses his hands, like a lot of the superheroes do. So then I thought, okay, well, seeing as she's using her actual molecules, like her actual cells and her own atoms to move a different kind of frequency, wouldn't it come from her core rather than just her hands? And then I said, well, look, why don't we study the chakras and imagine that it's a whole energetic force field that's coming out of her. And then she uses her hands to conduct that energy. So I spoke to VFX, and Matt and I spoke for ages, and Jenny, the movement director, who was wonderful. We just spent a long time trying to work out bodily movements. And sometimes they got a bit too sensual. So we had to go back a bit. Because but she is. I hope Sue is like a little bit sensual, because she is to me in the comics. But it was really fun developing it, and then.
Yeah, I like that she thinks this deeply about it.
She spent more time thinking about this than the entire production crew has thought about Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, well, and we'll have a link to this episode of Happy, Sad, Confused. I like it. At the end, she started like a girl talking about crystals, though. So I was kind of tuning out a little.
No, but I like
Sorry about that. But no,
real quick, because that was a perfect example of it. The biggest part of all the fatigue is these people talking about their movies. Like, it makes it absolutely insufferable. It's why I went into Fantastic Four expecting to not like it, because Pedro and all the things. And you watch, it's like, oh, there wasn't anything about Johnny being a modern man, or there wasn't anything about that. Like, that is the most tiring thing, is the run up to it.
Even the girl boss stuff, I don't think was. I mean, yes, arguments can be made. I saw her as a strong leader, as part of the group.
Yeah.
Right. She had different abilities, different both in leadership and in powers. And I feel like they did her powers better than Reed. I think Reed was a disappointment.
Yeah.
All he did was stretch his legs and arms.
She was a mother who was protecting her family and child. That's not girl boss. That's like, you do not cross this line. So I think it made sense, a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, they all work together too. They all had, which I love seeing their unique individual skills still be crucial to how everything turned out. So even what she did it made sense for what was happening, and everyone else was still a part of what happened at the end with Galactus. And yeah, it just made all the sense of the world to me that she would expend every ounce of her motherly energy to protect her child. It just felt, that's organic to me.
She mentioned it, motherly rage, Vanessa, in another interview. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are right on.
And it was a last ditch effort as well. They had tried everything and it failed. So when all else fails, I will sacrifice my life for my child. I will give my all to do that. So it made sense within the film. I don't think it was like a whole girl boss moment. What she did made sense within the film.
Yeah, and
even
I'll
still,
just
she
say,
did help. Yeah,
I'll just say, also as a father to a daughter, I have felt that same kind of rage. One play, when my daughter was really young, we had of this bush that was on the side of the house that it was never trimmed right. She would trip on it and fall. Made her fall once. I was so angry. I punched the bush. I literally punched
Okay, Chris,
the bush.
you got to stop with this. This is not the right thing to be saying. I don't know what you're trying to tell us, but it's all. There's a lot of weirdness happening here. I'm just pointing that out.
Punching the bush. Okay.
I punched the bush.
This is a Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby thing happening right now.
Okay, all right. Hey, let's get to soups here. If you would start from the top, and I gotta, Alan, you know what to do. I'm gonna be right back. I'll BRB.
Biggs for 5. Hopefully, Hollywood returns to more Philip K. Dick adaptations. Would love to see Ubik movie or show. Ubik,
yeah.
I am unfamiliar.
I am unfamiliar. Major Chai Chai.
Ubik would be very difficult to make.
Would it? Major Chai Chai for 5. Neither liked nor disliked F4. It just left me meh. I liked Superman better.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Napsky for 5. Franklin Richards versus the Sentry in Doomsday. Just do it.
Ooh. That's a good idea. All right.
Punch that baby. Orange and Gotten for 5. All hail to the panel. And Badger, why did you have to make Bob cry yesterday? Bob,
I think he's Tom.
What'd you do?
I know I did nothing.
Tom
RJ
had a
McCready.
conniption yesterday, so it's
hardly the only show that he did that on, so it was fine. RJ McCready for 10 made Reed a moron, wants to teleport Earth as if gravity inertia and orbital dynamics don't exist. Comic Reed refused to teleport the planet for sake of preservation because he knew it'd be catastrophic. That plot point was the definition of it's a comic book movie. Just like
No, but
Portal.
They should have just done what they actually did at the end versus.
Well,
yeah.
That's what I was
Rob had to
thinking
see it, so we gotta.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, sorry.
yeah. No spoilers. No spoilers.
But yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There was an easier solution, and that wound up being the solution.
I know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, why wasn't
did
this
I-
wasn't this the plan to begin with?
It's kind of like Thrawn. You have to be really smart to write smart peoples, and when just normal people write smart people, sometimes DBZZ now for 5. Seems like only Rob knows what he's talking about on this panel. Does it seem that way?
Usually.
Sounds right.
What?
That's not true.
Checks out.
Cookies know.
Yeah.
You're the sage, the wise sage.
Dripping
I'm back.
Mark Skid for 5. Unfortunately, F4 could be as good as Winter Soldier. I'm just at total apathy with the MCU. It might as well be My Little Pony to me.
Okay, that makes more
Apathy is
sense.
a solid.
That's fair,
Question
man.
for Rob here.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Go
Hey,
ahead,
Robert
Rob.
Meyer Burnett. Just noticed you in the credits for Guns The Specials 2000 as a hazmat recovery team member. Kudos.
But you didn't notice me as the associate producer?
Yes.
That's the thing. By the way, nothing encapsulates my entire career than this. I was the hazmat recovery team member, but not the associate producer. That's why I am where I am.
There's a great line in there where Gunn plays a superhero. goes to the
Minute
bathroom.
Man.
Yeah, Minute Man.
And everyone thinks he's Minuteman.
Right. Goes to the bathroom and comes back, has a dot on his pants. Remember that line? It's a dumb line, but I never forgot.
How do I not remember this movie?
The
First of
special?
all,
It
it was the movie we made after Free Enterprise, and Craig Mazin of Last of Us and Chernobyl fame directed it. James Gunn wrote it, and he co-starred in it. Thomas Hayden Church is in it. Rob Lowe is in it. Paget Brewster is in it. Sean Gunn is in it. Plays an alien orphan, and we made it for $1 million. And it's about the world's 7th greatest super team. You can see the trailer.
Yeah, no,
The
I'm gonna look it up right after
the
this.
trailer's out there, and it was great because I think La La Land Records released the film on brought it back. It was kind of a forgotten movie.
So who's better, Axel Braun or James Gunn?
Oh no.
Well, no, this is a legit, low. Axel Braun probably had more money than we had to make the special.
Let's get through these, and I'm going to look up
US
the trailer.
1776 for 5. This goofy Justice Gang assembly of super idiots isn't going to work for the normies. Guns universe belongs on TV. It's all CW forgettable nonsense.
Yeah, I thought I was talking about Versus for a moment.
CW was good in the first couple of years. Doug for 2. Badger, destroyer of crybabies. I don't know what you're talking about. Steph, sorry, you're not the only one that can have titles. RJ McCready for 5. The only character in Fantastic Four with an arc is the Surfer. Fantastic Four are all one-dimensional in the film. Sue is defined solely by her child as a devoted mother. I would take issue with that, but it would take too long to explain that everyone did kind of have.
And also, Johnny had an amazing arc in that.
Yeah,
film. That's all I'm
Dante,
saying.
thank you. Like it's one of those grow-up moments type thing. Red French Moon for 5. As a One Piece manga and anime absolutist, I enjoy humor in some serious moments, as you can sometimes have it both. And I liked it in Superman as well. Yes. Yeah. Chelsea, member for 14 months. As a mom of a 15-month-old, those scenes with Sue and Franklin towards the end made me tear up, not gonna lie.
There you go. See?
Pilgrim Media, shout out for 2. I liked the movie, just hated Reed's face. Yes, I also hated
That's
his
fair.
face.
That's fair.
Yes. Just saw A Serious Man. Just saw FF. Loved how every moment was earned. A++.
Okay.
Superman, 3 out of 10. Fantastic Four, 5 out of 10. Shout out Jimmy. That was for 10. You fucked that bitch for 199. Rob. Well, yeah, we talked about this a little bit before. Rob, what do you think of the female Jim Hadar? Which
you know what?
Be none?
Save that because we're going to show the trailer.
Put a pin.
Let's
save that one. You save that
Okay.
We're-
Both Superman and F4 were okay superhero movies. This is Mr. T115 for 50 Swedish krona. Both Superman and F4 were okay superhero movies, but superhero movies don't do it for me anymore. That for me, there's some fatigue. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, apathy is death. Unfortunately,
That's fair.
Oh, sorry about that. Where are we? Where are we in these? Okay.
Okay.
Salito for 10. This movie has the potential to appeal to the most chunk of audience because women of both sides of the political ideal will be able to relate to Susan Storm's motherhood arc. She's not just a girl boss. Yeah, I didn't think there were any girl bosses, personally.
Yeah,
I agree.
Pilgrim Media for 2. Huggy Bear would say, get that girl to the street. That girl to the street. Jimmy Drummer for another 25. Chris and Alan, I want to thank you. The Film Threat onboarding process made me happy, or made me enjoy writing reviews again. Also, R&B, love you, man, in a non-gay way.
It can be a gay way. It's all good.
California straight. Jeff Maddox for 5. The car seat gag in FF was so relatable and very funny. IMO. No matter how many kids you have, they're a pain in the ass.
Yes, those never
I love
were.
that part.
I thought it was fun. Sculders. So for 2, Pedro's dad crimes are wild. Fled prosecution to. Oh, his dad's.
His father. Yeah, his father. Yeah, his father's wild, man.
Him and his dad crimes in the movie. I was like, I thought he was an all right dad. Ryan Potter for 2. I hate press junkets. Actors do too.
I wish they would stop.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Stop doing them.
For another 2, which movies are you excited for till the end of 2025?
Weapons.
Fun.
Oh my god, I cannot wait.
Yeah, weapons.
The Naked Gun. Does that?
Tron Ares. I'm looking forward to Tron Ares.
Yeah, Tron Ares for sure.
Wicked.
Merrily we roll along. That's the one I'm looking for.
Wicked for good.
Was bad.
Wicked for good.
Yeah, can't wait for that. All right, real quick, let's take a look at this since it came up in conversation.
Oh,
I had to dig it up, and I accidentally unstarred 2 soups. If you can find those, Lori. But here we go.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, you can play this.
James Gunn's going to copyright claim us.
Meet the specials. Special. It's like being the last sailor in line behind the whore. The 7th best superhero team.
Wow, Rob Lowe, huh?
As a special, you'll experience all sorts of exotic wonders.
We're there for the oddball, the rebel, the outcast, the geek.
You're a Dudley girl. You're a flower.
Oh, Melissa Joan Hart.
They've made mistakes. Don't pull yet. I'm not going to pull. Is that a maxi pad on his face? They've been misunderstood.
Are you Minuteman?
Minute man. Do I look like a soldier from the Revolutionary War? No. I turn small. Think.
With superpowers comes super responsibility. Damn it.
That's clever.
Yes.
Love your outfit.
And just when a toy company was about to make them famous,
Superheroes don't get Oscars, we get action figures.
they were screwed.
Here comes Mrs. Indestructible. Haircut special.
He's a special just for me.
I'm black.
I think you have
Oh, no.
vaguely African features.
As of today, we are no longer.
Tell us what's wrong. What's wrong?
Beyond the fact that you're screwing my wife.
Now,
The stroke broke us apart.
Ted, you need therapy.
these underdogs must face their fears,
You're the one that needs therapy.
fall in love,
Go back to my place.
I'm gay.
Mother.
and find the courage to be heroes in their own special way. Regent Entertainment presents a completely original comedy.
I extracted this from an 83-year-old Caucasian man.
Here we go again.
It's a pretty good one.
Rob Lowe, Jamie Kennedy, Thomas Hayden Church, and Melissa Joan Hart.
There are no useless specials. Except Mr. Smart, he's a washout.
The specials.
Those pants make you look like you don't have any pop.
I know that.
Wow.
There you go, man.
I mean, it really. First of all, I remember seeing it when it first came out. Rob,
$1 million bucks.
Obviously, being free enterprise and all that. But that movie is so much like Gun. There's a dance number. It's a bunch of weird groups. All the humor. This is the thing. For me, it's really disheartening to see him kind of evolve in the same way that Kevin Smith. He knows what movie he makes that works, and just keeps making the same movie.
Yeah.
He tried to turn Superman. I just listened this morning to the Peacemaker podcast. He's more excited about Peacemaker season 2 than he is about Superman. And he keeps bringing up Batmite.
Well, that's because Peacemaker, that's his wheelhouse, man.
Exactly. It's R-rated. It's crude humor. There's just,
Well,
cool
remember,
jokes.
I mean, I think James Gunn is a New York City punk. I was in an elevator with Lloyd Kaufman yesterday.
I saw him yesterday too. He's great.
he was at the Marriott, and I did a convention with him during a virtual convention during the pandemic where I interviewed him, and I really liked him a lot. But there is that. I mean, if you've read, Gunn wrote a novel called The Toy Collector.
I have it,
which I encourage everyone to read because it's effing dark, but it's really well written and it's very uncomfortable. And I think that what I do like about James is he was always very nice to me. I thought he was very talented, but he is who he is. He got in trouble for having this dark, sardonic sense of humor that people like.
Well, they're dark,
but it wasn't. I mean, it was. If you know Trauma. I mean, it's his sensibility or his book. It was like the problem is people have forgotten that, and there was, if you grew up reading the horror novels that I mean, my God, there was the whole punk rock ethos has been completely forgotten by pop culture.
Yeah,
and James Gunn was that guy.
Kindness is the new punk rock, I'm told. That trailer makes something very apparent, and that is respective of your relationship to him, Rob. It's because he makes everything about himself. All the talking about Superman, we talked more about James Gunn, his dog, than we did about actual Superman. He was starring in that. Bro just wanted to be an acting star, and it didn't happen for him, and so now he writes movies. But the issue with that would be fine.
Well, to be fair, he was very a small role.
To be
minute
fair, but
man.
continuous.
Minute
Man. The point is, can you step away from that and be selfless and build the DC universe without selfish wants and what needs to happen? And I just haven't seen that yet.
Badger, to be fair to that, though, I honestly believe he did his best. Like, I really believe like Gunn really tried with Superman. Like, and again, it's not his wheelhouse, right? So for good or for bad, I think he did try. I didn't think he went in there half-assed. I didn't think he was trying to, goof around.
But he does have 5 previous films. He had Slither, Super, and 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Sure,
and probably 6. And Suicide Squad.
Right? And Superman is so out of his wheelhouse, man, that I got to give the guy credit for trying. I mean, it's Superman's not his thing. He's not a big hero kind of guy. Right? He's not the guy to tackle like a Batman or a Superman or a Spider-Man. He does Guardians. He does Suicide Squad. He does those kind of characters. He tried.
I give him credit. I give him credit for climbing from Trauma all the way up to the head of DC Studios. Like, that's a huge climb. That's a great career. Anybody should be proud of that. So I give him credit for having enough wherewithal within himself, writing talent. All right. Obviously, casting talent. He does a great job casting.
Yeah.
I think James Gunn is a solid enough head of a studio. He just didn't need to make Superman. All right. Everything else in the DC universe, he can kind of shape the universe. You know what I mean? He can kind of say, this is my vision of the universe. I think another director probably would have did an even better job with Superman, even with the James Gunn script. That's what I think James Gunn is going to have to do. He's going to have to learn to step back from some of the bigger projects and give it over to somebody else.
Well,
Batman, Brave and the Bold, he's going to have to hand that one off.
To be fair, he's not right. His ethos is, if he doesn't think the script is right, the movie isn't going to get made. And he's not writing scripts for other people. He has all these new filmmakers coming in and they're writing their own scripts and they're going to make the films they want to make as long as the scripts are good, which is what they do with
I agree
Supergirl.
with that. The tone is also something I'm nervous about because you're trying to build out a superhero universe where you really want families to really come to this universe and really rock with this universe, because that's how Marvel started. Marvel built their universe off of making it mostly family friendly for everybody. And now you got the next project is R-rated Peacemaker, vulgar as hell. All right. Lanterns, they've already said, Nathan Fillion said, I dropped more F-bombs on the first episode than I have in my entire career.
True
all right.
Detective.
Yeah. Everything is super dark right now. And then you're going to get to, Girls Gone Wild, Supergirl. I don't know how all of this is going to play
Which is dark
out.
too.
Well, let's
I'm just curious about that, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right, well, let's pivot and talk about Comic-Con. And did we get a first look at Supergirl? I can confirm we did not. In fact, I was in the room when the Peacemaker panel happened, and I want to report something interesting. The crowd tried to give Gunn a standing ovation.
Oh, I saw that.
Only about 20, maybe 30% of the crowd stood up, and they were trying to get a lot of people sat down. And John Cena made a joke about it. He made a joke that he didn't get a standing ovation. George Lucas got a standing ovation the next day, but I was in the room and it really felt awkward because they kept repeating the joke about not getting a standing ovation every time. But I was in the Marriott pool bar after the con closed, and I can share this with you. This was a look at Supergirl. That's all we're going to get. There's your first look. That's it, folks. I can put it on repeat, but that's all we're getting. That's all we're getting. But let's talk about highlights from Comic-Con. A lot of news. We will look at trailers too. But there is so much news. I don't know where to start, but we'll go through the recap here from the wrap. We have notes for this story. Badger, if you would.
Comic-Con highlights. Yeah. Despite the absence of Marvel and DC studios, Comic-Con 2025 proved fandom is alive and thriving. San Diego's iconic Hall H remained at capacity throughout the 5-day event, even without its usual superhero anchors. Studios like 20th Century, Amazon, MGM, and Disney stepped up, thrilling fans with surprise appearances, immersive footage, and viral moments. Comic-Con's still alive and well without Marvel and DC panels, said Light Iron's Ian Kerner, a 30-year Comic-Con veteran. The energy in Hall H confirmed that genre storytelling from sci-fi epics to animation icons can drive hype just as effectively. Notably, Predator Badlands made a splash with an actual predator stalking the stage in character, followed by an intense 15-minute preview. Director Dan Trachtenberg explained the twist. The Predator is not a friendly creature. It is ferocious, and I was really interested in switching that up, referring to the pairing of the titular alien with a robot sidekick played by Elle Fanning. Other big winners included Amazon MGM's Project Hail Mary, which used every screen in Hall H for a massive widescreen reveal of its opening 5 minutes. Star Ryan Gosling and directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller were joined by author Andy Weir and screenwriter Drew Goddard to tease the emotional space survival story. It's a story about connection, Miller told the crowd. Also, Disney's Tron Ares brought spectacle with rogue programs crashing the stage, Jared Leto appearance, and a surprise visit from Jeff Bridges. If I wasn't on the stage, I would be in the audience right now, Leto said. Meanwhile, James Gunn and John Cena brought the house down with a Peacemaker Season 2 preview and a salute to the box office success of Superman, which just passed 500 million worldwide. Gunn teased a crossover between Peacemaker and the new DC universe. One of the most poignant moments came on Sunday when George Lucas made his first ever Comic-Con appearance. Fans gave him a lightsaber salute as he shared a look at the upcoming Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. It's more about a connection with the work. If you have an emotional connection to something, that's art, Lucas said, perfectly summing up a Comic-Con that celebrated storytelling in all its forms.
On Wednesday, Alan and I will do. We'll talk a lot about Comic-Con. We went to several panels together. We'll go over it. I was at the Peacemaker panel when Gunn did not get the full. I mean, it was embarrassing to see it. I think it showed the divide in the fandom. And we'll get into it. We also saw the Coyote versus Acme panel, which looked amazing.
The trailer is amazing.
The trailer's amazing. We saw several scenes. They even did a bit where one of the Acme lawyers tried to shut the panel down. I'll show video later.
But can I ask you something about that, Chris?
Yes.
Can you believe that Warner Brothers doesn't want to release that movie?
It makes you wonder what's wrong with the movie if that was the case.
It was maybe who knows? Yeah. It feels like a publicity stunt. It feels like a stunt. The way they're treating it, and they're leaning into it. But one of the highlights, and you can find this, but I saw it in real life, was Galactus. Someone had
that was amazing. I watched that guy too.
Yeah. No, it's actually a little girl in there.
It was a girl.
Holy shit. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is, dude. On stilts.
Yeah. This was all the cosplay, probably the best thing. I followed him around. It was crazy.
This is awesome. This is like nothing I've seen at con. Holy crap.
Anyways, you can find that on my X account.
There's also a video of how he did that, of him getting into.
Yeah. I mean, it made news. It was all over like other news sites. But what is, if anyone has any takeaways from it, and then we'll get to the Star Trek Starfleet Academy teaser trailer. I have not seen it. I've not seen it, but any takeaways or thoughts on Comic-Con news?
Alan got to be in the same room as the maker. Now he thinks he's
It
better
doesn't
than
matter if you went or not. I'm sure you heard news.
But if you're a member,
I didn't get
of a
into
certain
the
channel,
George
you might be able to
Lucas,
see
but
that whole panel. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that museum, man. I'm really looking forward to checking out that museum. It looks so amazing.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to. I want to go. The museum has no right angles in it, and it's just full of pop culture narrative. It's a museum to honor the narrative form.
I'm glad George got his standing ovation. It's not like when Hayden Christensen went back and he got his standing ovation. Like, it's nice that it's due.
Yeah, there's lots of exciting productions in the future. That's awesome.
Well, best thing I saw, Project Hail Mary, by far. Rob, you were right. I started the book on the way home from Comic-Con. I bought the audiobook.
Yep.
I got through the first 3 chapters. I mean, I wish the ride home was longer. That book is riveting.
Oh, well, Cookies knows.
Yeah.
I mean, and the funny thing is, at CinemaCon, I think they made a mistake with the first trailer. It was weird, stupid studio thinking where you made it goofy. And I think a lot of people think it was goofy, but what they showed at CinemaCon was it was apocalyptic, and the humor was a way to undercut the end of humanity, the end of our entire solar system.
Yeah.
And the trailer didn't work, but I wasn't at that panel, but I heard it really conveyed what we saw at CinemaCon.
Not only that, just hearing Lord Miller talk about the movie made me think, why didn't they let them finish Solo?
Well, that's the thing. Who knows?
Crazy. It's a missed opportunity. That movie could have been unique, something special. I mean, as it was, I thought it was very milquetoast, very forgettable. So,
because Lawrence Kasdan didn't dig it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, in regards to the movie, though, I just covered there was an interview that Andy Weir did with space.com, and I just released a video about that. But he was on set the entire time that they were shooting the film, and he was just wellspring of knowledge that Ryan Gosling went to, the directors, the art department. Like, they kept talking to him. He was thoroughly involved, I guess, more so than he was on The Martian. So I'm super excited about that fact that he was there to be and involved, and people are asking him questions. Ryan Gosling was asking him questions like every day on set to get into Grace's mindset. So super excited that they're treating the authors with the proper respect, the creators of these stories, to capture that spirit of the novel on film.
I just think that's what I want to see more of. Serious sci-fi that asks questions, that isn't jokey, quippy, things don't matter. Like we'll get to Star Trek in a minute. We'll show that trailer. But I want serious sci-fi. Give me a bottle episode discussing ideas and make it really dramatic.
The funny thing is all fans want that. The great sci-fi things. I mean, look, I think every fan, if you said this line, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I'll bet most of the people watching this show right now could finish that paragraph.
Attack ships on fire.
By the way, Blade Runner director's cut will be at the Dolby Theater with a full orchestra in January 2026.
Wow.
Thanks to Steph, we have a clip of the sort of, they tried to get it going. It didn't happen, and it was embarrassing.
Look, they were too busy holding up their phones. That's why.
All right, lots of questions.
Anyways,
that's embarrassing. That's
He's
embarrassing.
a true
man.
heel, that John Cena.
Wow.
Cena used to dealing with crowds a little bit more, maybe.
Shall we get to Star Trek?
Oh,
Star
God.
Trek.
And you really haven't seen this yet?
I have not seen it. I'm
You're
excited.
in for a treat.
I've seen it without sound.
I am so excited. So let's just watch 2 minutes. We're gonna have to clip it out, unfortunately, because Paramount always copyright claims. But let's take a look and discuss.
Somebody should claim something about this.
Yeah, here we go.
San Francisco.
And so, we begin. I'm Captain Nala Ake, Chancellor of Starfleet Academy.
Wait, what's her name?
Nalagu
Nalagulakwe?
Nalake?
It sounds like something I've heard at a land acknowledgement.
I think that's a
don't
cultural
understand it.
appropriation. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it. Okay, here we go. All right, we have older white one. Let's go.
We're all the first Academy class to return to our campus in San Francisco after more than 120 years. Some of you are here for your families, some for yourselves. Together, you are the best and the brightest from across the galaxy. A tapestry that is Starfleet. You will learn the skills that shaped our greatest officers. Like them, we'll ask you to give more of yourselves than you knew you had. To dream without limitations. Whatever challenges came before today led you to this moment. You here now. You weave together the future. So go out.
Who is that comedian? Tig
That was
Notaro?
Tig Notaro, yes. This is the bigger sin.
No! Tig Notaro? Oh,
And by the way, this
No,
is
that's
our
not
female
Tig Notaro.
Gem Hadar that is non-canonical. Just saying.
What is this alien?
It's a Gem
Gem
Hadar.
He's a Gem Hadar.
Genetically bred soldier.
I don't know if you've seen Deep Space Nine.
The people that made this show have never seen Deep Space Nine, so why should you have seen Deep Space Nine?
Exactly. Oh my God.
And seek. Explore. Boldly go where no one has gone before. It is my great honor to welcome you all to Starfleet Academy.
Not a straight white man in sight.
Don't stop it yet, Chris.
Okay. Oh my God! It looks like so. It's not on the CW. It's on Paramount Plus. So wow.
Hey, I got a question. Who is this? Who's the audience for this? Who's supposed to watch
Star
this?
Trek fans? Come on.
People who
I
like
would say it's
Glee.
not Star Trek fans. Oh,
It's
sorry,
for Glee fans.
I don't know a Star Trek fan that would even think about watching something like that, man.
I don't even think Glee fans would watch this.
I was a Glee fan. I wouldn't watch this.
It's for new
Well, it
Trek
clearly
fans.
was trying to evoke that, and it's I don't know. They just want it to be anything but Star Trek.
Yeah,
for
that's
people-
the entire since 2009. That is
How are they still
exactly
getting
the message.
funding, man? Because I saw the Strange New Worlds one too, and I'm like, who's watching this?
Who's watching this shit? Man, this is crazy. Look,
A
I'm here
small
for the
group of
rock.
people
Look, I'm
at
here
Star
for the
Trek Discovery
R&B
get
rant.
brought
I want
on.
R&B to rant on this one, man, because this is going to be an absolute shit show.
Are we going to watch the Strange New Worlds trailer too?
Oh, is that coming up next?
Well,
Oh
did
my
you
God.
did
I haven't
you
seen
see,
either one of
did
these.
you
That's
see
the
the
first time.
season
the trailer's
4?
bad, man.
So I've always said that the people writing modern Star Trek look at Buffy and Angel as their touchstones of great writing. Star Trek has been turned into that. Well, we saw that they did a musical on Strange New Worlds because they had to emulate once more with Feeling, the musical on Buffy. Well,
Which was good.
We know that season 4 of Strange New Worlds now has a puppet episode where they
You're kidding.
puppets. And it's
Well, I saw the image.
the 4th season of Strange New Worlds and the 4th season of Angel.
5th season, but yes.
Are you sure it's 5th?
Yeah,
That had
'cause
the puppet
it's
episode?
when Angel takes over Wolfman Hart. So
Well, they did a puppet episode. I don't know Angel as well as I know Trek,
but
I mean,
here's the thing: the puppet episode for Angel was great because
Yeah.
it has something to do with the story.
of
like
course.
this.
But so all the writers who write modern Star Trek look at Joss Whedon and Dollhouse and Angel and Buffy and Firefly as their touchstones. That is their rock. And there you go. There's
Here
going
we
to be
go.
a
Should we
puppet
watch
episode.
this little
No,
teaser?
all the people that write Star Trek
There's
now
just gonna
know
be
how to
ends.
do
You don't
is
need to show
follow people. There's no originality. There is nothing. There is only copying. There is only if someone else hasn't done it, they can't do it on Star Trek. There is no originality. There is no understanding. There is nothing. The fate of Western civilization, the toilet that is modern Star Trek, is where we are all spinning down. And Star Trek is exactly where we're going.
Well, I
It's
want to
Hollywood,
see
baby. It's Hollywood, baby.
I want to see Rob's pained face while we watch this.
Why? Why?
It's a masochist.
Look at that.
Oh,
Well,
no!
clearly he's a sadist. But,
Pigs
That
in
too.
space. Pigs in space. That's what this is. I love pigs in space.
Chris, this is like you.
I do
that's,
look like
that's,
that.
that's a Gore puppet.
Kill me. That's just
How are
kill
we?
me.
you
That
know,
is
we Star Trek should be the gold standard of science fiction. There is no thought, intelligence. There is nothing about the future. There is nothing about humanity. This show is. I thought Discovery was bad. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is a show that badly copies other shows from 20 years ago. There's not one original thought. The last episode, we've had space zombies, and then episode 2, they stole from 3 different other Star Trek episodes, which they haven't watched. I hate this show.
oh my god.
Rob, I'm disappointed, Rob. I thought you was going to rant for about a 5-minute rant.
I gotta keep it down. You know why? I'm old. And this is what's going to be the death of me. Ranting about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I'll have a myocardial infarction and die. I've fallen asleep online before. I will die online talking about Star Trek.
Before you calm down too much, there were contextual super chats like asking you about this Starfleet.
We'll get to that.
Easy as it goes,
up.
okay, steady as it goes. We don't
Yeah.
want to get this man a heart attack.
Yes, I did rant. I
Keep
did
a solid
rant.
level.
I did rant at San Diego Comic-Con. I
But-
did get no applause.
But now, Fantastic Four will be the last movie Marvel releases until December 2026, when Avengers Doomsday comes.
No,
out.
Spider-Man, Brave New.
Well, the
or
Spider-
Brandon
no, no,
Tate comes out
that's-
first.
But that's
Is
Sony.
that an MCU movie? Is it?
It
It
is.
is.
So
It
Yeah,
is
Punisher's in
technically,
it.
but it won't have anything to do with Doomsday, right? Because Spidey's not even in Doomsday. I don't think.
Right.
I don't
But
think
let's
he's
look at-
even in there. But anyway,
Let's look at this teaser for Eyes of Wakanda. And Alan and I are getting screeners. We'll get to see every episode. Should we do another pizza party? Should we do a pizza
Let's
party?
go.
Pizza viewing
Let's
party?
go.
Yeah, let's
Just
do it.
saying, we could, but here we go.
Wakanda is a kingdom of many secrets. Spies like you and me sent out across the world to do the missions that Wakanda does not want known.
Secrecy is essential to Wakanda's security. Be a ghost.
The time to act is now.
We fight for home, for Wakanda.
Wow.
so this drops
Dope,
this
man.
week.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, it's not next week. It's next week.
It said August 1st.
No, it said August 1st.
Yeah, that's next week.
I think
That's
Oh no,
Friday.
never mind.
that's this week. Alan, where have you been? Look,
I'm
I already know what Alan's thinking.
I'm back.
No Asians. No Asians.
Yeah,
Alan.
I feel seen. That's right.
Yeah, but that looks better than Ironheart. I like the animation styles.
Yeah.
Unique.
Pretty cool, man.
It's look. I don't know. That could be good.
I know,
Thoughts?
but what about
I'm
the
willing to give it a
story
shot.
do you connect with from what you've seen?
Colonizer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It looked like. By the way, did you see the Iron Fist? It looked like Iron Fist made a quick appearance in there. Is that
maybe.
true? Is that me?
Maybe.
Then I'm almost seen.
All right. No,
No,
big
he's a white
reaction to this. Come on.
It
Well,
looks
then we'll.
interesting.
All right.
Looks
Not made
interesting.
for me.
I'll definitely check it out for sure.
Now, something I know you all are looking forward to. Avatar: Fire and Ash. That's right. The trailer hit this weekend in front of FF. Let's take a look at the trailer and react. Here we go.
The strength of the ancestors is here.
You cannot live like this, baby. In hate.
If there is something you can do, then you must do it. children. No, Spider. And we will find another way. Your goddess has no dominion here.
I mean, I'll get the game on PS5. It looks like a video
Yeah.
game to me. And look, I've enjoyed all the Avatar films. I've enjoyed them and completely forgotten them after I've seen them. Almost, it reminds me, watching it now, it looks like a show in Vegas or a ride in Vegas at the Sphere. You ever heard of that?
I remember the first one because it's Dances with Wolves, and it really
It'll make
hasn't
$2 billion.
changed much. I don't
It'll
remember
make
the
$2
second
billion.
one. I feel complete apathy watching that. I've seen it in the big screen too, but before Fantastic Four, I just feel nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only seen the first one.
I'm excited for it. I like the second one, and I came from that place. I was not wowed at all by the first one just because it was a generic story, but it looked beautiful. It was a great cinematic experience. It's the only 3D movie I've ever enjoyed. But no, the second movie I liked there was some Dune themes in there that I appreciated. I felt like Neytiri and what's Sigourney Weaver's character was kind of Chani and Aaliyah that were missing from Dune Part 2. So and yeah, the Fire Chief antagonist seemed much more compelling to me. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I just wish James. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it's going to make $2 billion. It's a big hit overseas. International audiences eat this stuff up, so it's going to get the job done. I like the first one. I don't think I like the second one as much as everybody else did, but it's a fine movie. It's fine. You can watch it and get through it, and it doesn't like. There's a nice strong message of like fatherhood in the second one that I really enjoyed. But outside of that, it's just it's all right. It's special effects. It's a really good show. James Cameron, look, he has his special effects. He has that down pat. He does a great job with it. So it looks great when you go into theaters. But other than that, the story is just okay. That's how I always see it. But yeah, it'll make $2 billion because everybody loves it.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
like Elaine.
Those
I like
movies for me are just like I'll go because I'm interested in it, but it's a movie that I will never watch again after that.
Yeah, I've only
I just
seen
like
that.
the Avatar like section of the Disney park at Hollywood or at Animal Kingdom is really cool, and the ride is a lot better than like for me as an experience than the movies are. Like they're interesting, I like them, and I walk away. I'm like, oh, okay, that was good, but I never pick them up afterwards. It's not something that I'm super invested in with the Avatar movies. So
we have Mordor Na'vi, Crack a Doom living Na'vi who have forsaken their god Iowa. I mean, I'm looking for religious war coming in from the skies. We saw stuff at CinemaCon with high frame rate. I mean, I am a huge Avatar lover. I love this shit. I cannot wait. I don't think this is a good trailer, though. What they showed us at CinemaCon was better. This trailer was really weird and disjointed. I mean, the fact is we're meeting another group of Na'vi that don't believe in Iowa. Your God has no dominion here. I'm like, I'm so in. And is there a shot where they're taking somebody to Earth? There's one shot where someone's being led. I don't know. I love these movies unapologetically. I think there's cinematic awe and wonder here. You don't bet against Jimmy C.
And
Yeah,
also,
but here's my problem with it, man. I wish Cameron would focus on something else. That's my whole thing.
well, I want to see Earth. What is going on Earth?
Well,
Is Earth
they're going to
dying?
Earth. They're going to Earth.
I hope we see it because in contrast with the beauty of their planet, like it might be interesting.
The thing is, the man wants to save the planet through the power of science fiction cinema, and I'm like, I'm all for it. That is his legacy as a man who has gone down to the bottom of the Marianas Trench. He is saving humanity through his cinema. Who else is doing that?
The movies are really beautiful. I like the look. I'm just not as invested. And I was actually hoping that the Fire Tribe would look a little different than they did in the trailer. I don't know. I was hoping they would look a little bit more menacing. They don't seem too menacing.
One last story before we go to soups and wrap up. Sorry, it's a shorter show today because Alan and I are going to see a film called Sketch. We're going to the premiere, and Drinker is there, along with our friend Gary from Nerdrotic. But
Critical Drinker is here?
He's here.
In LA.
Wow.
They let him in.
They did. I will be drinking with Drinker tonight. I'll post
Pace
something
yourself.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
Pace
here
yourself.
we go. Yes. Well, I can't keep up with Drinker, but here we
If
go.
you can, including Drinker. As the head of visual development and an associate producer at Marvel Studios, Ryan Minderding,
My
nerding home, has played a pivotal role in shaping the Marvel Cinematic Universe since Iron Man. And now he's helping reinvent one of Marvel's most iconic superhero teams in a new alternate timeline film set in Earth 828. Designing The Thing was a deeply personal project. He's long admired the character's emotional complexity beneath a rocky exterior. As a character designer, the idea of characters that are a little harder to figure out, like a guy made of rocks, to make him lovable, that's a hard challenge. His team created over 3,600 pieces of concept art, leaning heavily on Jack Kirby's original designs while modernizing them with a real world references, even using decorative landscaping rocks to inform texture and tone. The idea of that heavy brow and these bright, shining blue eyes was important. Bringing Galactus to life was the biggest and most exhilarating creative challenge, a task that involved balancing comic book authenticity with awe-inspiring cinematic scale. We stayed close to the Kirby design. He was meant to be one of those cosmic characters that you almost can't fully appreciate how big he is. The scale of Galactus wasn't just about size, but about presence, how he would feel on screen, and how audiences would experience his arrival for the first time. The goal was to capture that overwhelming sense of cosmic dread and wonder that the character embodies in the comics. He was challenging to try to get as much detail on, adding that Galactus had to stand apart from everything else in the film's retro-futuristic aesthetic. His presence also added weight to the story's stakes and tone, providing a stark contrast to the more grounded human dynamics of the Fantastic Four. Yeah, he was very imposing, and it has like more industrial feel to his technology, ancient industrial.
I mean, I really like the tribute to Jack Kirby at the end. At the end of the credits, the way they did it, our whole audience just went, oh. It was I enjoyed that aspect, but
the little 828 moment.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Like
that was cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I mean, it's something it's one of the positive stories out of FF is the fact that Jack Kirby, I feel like, got his due and respect, so I don't know. That's just a feel good story for me because as a Kirby fan, longtime Kirby fan, that was one of the best parts of FF. Any other thoughts from people? Anyone?
I enjoyed it.
All right.
Yeah, I loved his design. I think that's the best he's ever looked on film.
Yes.
The Thing.
100%.
I thought his voice would bother me more, and it didn't. And Robert, I think you're gonna like the film.
I mean, I'm 1 hour and 19 minutes away.
Yeah, just all the little nods to comics.
More gravelly, but that's about it.
Yeah. Let's go to comments. There's some for Rob here.
Royston Bailey for 6. Rob, what are the odds of Klutzman goes post-merger?
That's a good question. I mean, look, you know what's really interesting? I have no sense of have these Star Trek shows since 2017 made money?
No.
For Paramount or CBS?
No.
Have they? I have no idea. I mean, I have no sense of it.
was that Skydance. Maybe you've heard this, that Skydance was requiring him to come up with 3 new profitable replacement shows. Stargate Academy being one of them, or Starfleet Academy being one of them. I'd rather watch Stargate Academy.
I mean,
so
the problem that I have is that science fiction as a genre is something that is supposed to enlighten our current age. You know, the contemplative nature of science fiction is something that fires our imagination. Look at Cookie's any video she's done on Dune. Dune was written it came out published in 66 and 65. Okay, and it's still inspiring people because Frank Herbert did all kinds of research and it's still relevant today. Star Trek currently is looking toward what other people did in the past. It has nothing to say to our current day. It's not enlightening. It's not smart. It's not exciting, but most of all, it's not intellectual. And it is just, honestly, modern Star Trek is the most. If I was Plinkett, this is the most disappointing thing since my son. It's such a terrible. Modern Star Trek is so awful because it has nothing to say to audiences of today that offers them any enlightenment or anything to contemplate. It is the exact opposite of what Star Trek was designed to do. And when I see a puppet, I'm like, oh, you're evoking Angel from 20 years ago? Wolfram and Hart? That's what Star Trek is? They are the worst. They are fraudulent creators. And they should be replaced. And I hope they don't survive the merger, because what they've done to Star Trek is more egregious than what anyone has ever done to any franchise. And I include Rise of Skywalker in that and the children episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah. Preach.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
It's awful.
No. Yeah, he's really done.
It's just a gimmick now. The spirit of Star Trek is gone.
He's turned it into something ugly and not hopeful. And the whole point was humanity had come together and come above all of our stupid differences. And he just has regressed all of that.
The worst thing is he doesn't tell good stories. A good story. You know, the penultimate episode of Deep Space Nine season 1 is called Duet. And it's basically 2 actors. It's Kira Nerys and a Cardassian officer basically in a room together. And it's some of the most compelling Star Trek ever done. 2 people in a room, one in heavy prosthetics. That's amazing. Not
What's crazy
today.
is that they're using these gimmicks to market the show when that's really not what people go for. Like, I remember like musical episodes, Muppet episodes, those things were just intertwined into the show mid-season or something. They really focused and relied on good storytelling when it came to shows, as opposed to these gimmicks, right? And now it's more like we're going to rely on these gimmicks to get people to watch the show, as opposed to putting some effort into storytelling.
Q, John Delancey or something, we wouldn't have a problem, but it's not done the right way. It's done as a gimmick. It's not a fun episode amongst many well-written, well-meaning episodes. It's just, let's make them puppets.
Okay. Let's keep going, Badger.
RJ McCready for 5. Johnny learning space linguistics and an alien language in 24 hours. I think it was not 24 hours, but is not an arc, Badger. Him guilt tripping surfer also isn't an arc. Okay.
Fair enough. Oh, this is sorry, these images came up on my screen. I apologize for that.
85.
It's
nice.
That happened.
Yeah.
Huh? Red French Moon for 2. What are we saying? Superman is like the specials?
I'm saying James Gunn hasn't really
Watch them
changed.
both.
Watch them both. They're good. The specials, I really loved it at the time. I mean, this was before the big superhero trend. So I'm saying certain creatives kind of remake the same movie. And I feel like that's what Kevin Smith has done. And I get that feeling from Gunn, and it's kind of disappointing. Rather than seeing a filmmaker grow and, try different stuff.
No spot for 5. Good afternoon, F8. Happy birthday, Rob. Can Rob recreate that Supergirl video you showed? Thanks.
Definitely next week. Rob will do that.
What Supergirl video?
The one we showed.
No. Snakes and Funerals member for 29 months. Tron was the OG Cyberpunk.
Oh, thanks.
True.
Yeah.
Arian for 5. It's sad the level of writing we are getting in these films. Both Superboy and F4 had to use babies to get some emotion out of us. Right, like fur baby. Connor Dorian, Charlie Manx, shout out for 5. Did you see the footage from It? Welcome to Derry at Comic-Con.
I saw the trailer that dropped. I did not see the footage. No.
Davey, Death Ray for 2. Thoughts on the Jason Universe short film?
Haven't seen it. Anyone else?
That was Victor Miller's people made that? The original writer of Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I wasn't blown away by it.
I can't believe you got Taylor Swift and Dakota Johnson to do these, Chris. You are so well connected.
Very popular.
That is impressive. Royston Bailey for 6. Star Trek Astroversity. Yeah.
A travesty.
Travesty. Excuse me. Royston Bailey for 6. Gimadar. No spot for 2. Where are the Asians in this new Trek? There was one.
Apparently they bred themselves out of existence.
Yeah.
Nelson for 2. Jim Hadar have 5-year lifespans. What's the point?
The thing is, these people never watched Deep Space Nine. They don't know the Jim Hadar mythology. It's so ridiculous.
Star Wars Lego Rob for $1.99. Okay, Film Threat needs a puppet show. Yeah,
we
puppets
do.
Win.
It would make sense to do verses in all puppets.
No spot for 2. Take a baby aspirin, Rob, and rant, please.
I'm saving it for my YouTube show tonight.
Oh, I'll be watching.
Oh, okay,
Rob.
I'm tuning in. I'm tuning in tonight.
I'll be there. Tease it,
Israel
Rob.
for 10. Hello, everyone. Have you guys seen the trailer for Spartacus, House of Asher? Thoughts? I miss good sci-fi in cinema, but at this point, I will be happy for a cohesive, entertaining story. Cheers. They picked the most hated character who died in the series to make an alternate timeline show 10 years after it went off the air. Good luck to them.
Yeah.
Stubble McShave for 50 Swedish krona. I heard that Cameron is doing Joe Abercrombie's The Devils before the next Avatar movie. Have Nerd Cookies read it? By the way, I liked the Mistborn video.
Oh, thank you. No, I haven't. That doesn't sound familiar. I'll check it out. But thank you. I really enjoyed Mistborn.
Jason for 500. Have you guys discussed Alien Earth? Aliens, or I think it's just Alien Earth. Thoughts? Hulu?
I saw that trailer. I'm very skeptical. It breaks timeline. I don't know. I don't like it. It's what I've seen so far. I'm not excited. Anyone else?
I am intrigued to see how they're gonna.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, obviously, I think they decide to do what Alien Resurrection. They take that concept at the very end of the ship crashing into Earth, but like rewound it to when the stakes
2
could
years
be,
before the
higher.
first Alien movie. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they're gonna have to explain. They just have to keep it contained. I just hope that doesn't take away any tension or drama. And if it's a compelling story, it all depends on the writing. Let's see.
And having an android body with a human mind be put in it for the first time is an interesting concept to do.
And thanks for Ahmad, Lord Thoth, and Atomic Glory, and Glenn Uccio.
I just think it's time to let franchises die.
Everybody should read this
Dante.
book.
No, bro. It's time to merge them with Predators
Hang
and
on,
Weyland
Rob.
Yutani androids.
Throw it up again, Rob.
Everybody should read this, and don't blame me for the first 20 pages. They'll blow your mind. Trust me.
Can you say the title for people that just listen?
It's called The Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect. It's by Roger Williams. There's also a YouTube video that I saw, a documentary made of him. I read this book, and I've read it all. This blew my mind.
Well, let's wrap up the show here. We'll be back on Wednesday and Friday. Everybody plug your channel. We'll go around the horn.
Yo, check out the DA's office on Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Love to have you guys. We're closing in on 30K for subscribers. So I hope you guys come and check out the DA's office. And then also nightcaps every Tuesday and Thursday evening. And thank you very much, Chris. Love coming on Film Threat. Shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome. Peace out.
My Nerdy Home, Steph on YouTube. I'll be doing nerdy news and a TikTok stream later on this week. And I'll be on Geeks and Gamers Daily on Wednesday. So check me out there.
Hey guys, Dante from Verbal Riot. Find me on YouTube, Rumble and X. You can watch the video I just dropped about Sydney Sweeney promoting Nazism, and you can catch me on VRL every Thursday, 6 p.m. PST.
Hey, had a great time as always. You can find me here on YouTube at Nerd Cookies, where I chat about sci-fi and fantasy news, theories, and lore. You can look for more Project Hail Mary and Tron Ares coverage, so check it out. Thanks again.
Robert Burnett from the Burnett Work on YouTube. I was not going to cover Star Trek anymore. I was finished. But you know what? After what happened this weekend, I have to come back. And I may commit suicide live on stream. I don't know. It's how I feel. But oh my God.
Well, and Rob was joking when he said that, to be clear. But
no, I wasn't.
Not here. Rob, did you ever talk to Forrest J. Ackerman? I could tell you.
I did. I've been to his house. I went to the Acker Mansion numerous times.
I have also been to the house numerous times.
I went with Dr. Donald Reed and Forrest J. Ackerman to the Magic Castle.
I went with Greg Theakston. We went there, and one of the things was you had to take 4 out to dinner. That was like the price.
Yeah.
For getting a tour. And the best part was I asked to use the bathroom. Went to the bathroom, and there were a stack of, I'll just say it politely, girly magazines, all devoted to large-breasted women.
By the way, I will say I'm not going to take my own life. I'm going to outlive this horrible incarnation of Star Trek. I have to be here to watch it go away.
Of you.
Yeah, that's the attitude.
That's right.
That's
I will
good.
stay till the end. I will fight forever. You can try my
observations tonight. I'm looking forward to it, man. I want to see it, baby. Let's go, Rob. Let's do this.
Links to everyone's channel are in the description for this. Sub to them all. Watch them all. I do. And Alan, let's go see that. We're going to that movie. We'll hang out with Drinker and Neurotic. We're going to hang out like we did all weekend. And what do you have to say, Alan?
Let's get out of here.